Welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michelle Hartwig, and I am your host. I am also the race director for many Midwest trail races, including Kettle Moraine 100, Hennepin 100, and Midwest States 100 coming in 2021. And I am here with my co-host, Crystal the Pistol.
Hey everybody. I love hearing Royal count down before we start recording. I can hear him a little bit and then I'm like, it's time. Thanks, Royal.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Royal? Thank you. So we are super excited about our guest tonight, Taggart VanEtten, and he ran his first ultramarathon at Tunnel Hill last weekend. He finished in 12 hours, 19 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Holy
Holy cow,
woo.
just shy of Zach Bitter's world record. Incredible. Thank you so much, Taggart, for joining us on the show, and congratulations.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me and reaching out. It's my pleasure to be here. So I'm glad you guys could have me.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch. So Loretta, who organizes all this, she was down there sending us updates of what was going on. And I understand it was also your first ultra marathon.
Yes, it was my first official ultra marathon in training and my weeks leading up. But I had plenty of runs that were considered an ultra distance. But yeah, this was my first official ultra marathon. So
yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I just go with the hunt. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better now. The day afterwards, I couldn't like walk or stand up without assistance. I had to have my friends who were pit crewing for me, basically move my legs and like carry me into places because I was just so fatigued. I've never felt that way in my entire life. And then I took work off on Monday and I did some light movement around my place and just doing this and that, just trying to keep the blood flow. And by the end of the day, Monday, I felt sore, but not awful like I was. And by the time Tuesday rolled around, I was still sore and fatigued, but not near as bad. And today I woke up feeling, I think, like how a normal human being is supposed to feel, but trying to bend down and pick up some things still isn't the easiest. And same way with doing the stairs, it's not the best, but I'm getting there. So hopefully by Friday I'll be feeling good for the weekend.
Yeah, that is incredible. What's your job that you took the day off from?
I've got the best job in the world, actually. I teach kindergarten through 8th grade PE. Then I coach baseball, basketball, and track. So
Oh my gosh,
That's awesome.
Yeah, Crystal's a teacher too.
What do you teach, Crystal?
Preschool.
Oh, good for you. The little ones.
The little ones, yeah.
Yeah, Crystal's really good with kids. I've been around her. I could have learned from her when my kids were little. But my kids turned out well despite me.
Your kids are fine.
So what did all your students think after you came back to school?
I came back to school and I actually had on my office door congratulations coach poster, and then I had a bunch of students who made me things that said congratulations. Everyone knew why I wasn't there on Monday and all that stuff. And the week leading up to the race, I think Monday through Thursday, I'd ask them every day, how far am I running this weekend? And then and on Monday they'd be like 100 miles, and then by Thursday they'd be like, Coach, we know you're running 100 miles this weekend. it was just funny how it went. So
was that the first they had ever heard of a 100-mile race?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I even had some boys who I coached in baseball, basketball, and track who like didn't really believe me the whole time until afterwards when I showed up on Tuesday and I was like, I told you guys back in August this was going to happen, and they just didn't really believe me. So, and it happened, and now we go on.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't
It was just
heard
funny how it worked out. So
That is awesome. Yeah, my daughter, she went to school one day and told her teacher that her mom ran 100 miles on the weekend. And the teacher said, "Oh, honey, you must have misunderstood her. It was probably a marathon." So I can see the
Only
kids
4
going, "I'm not sure about 100."
marathons.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
where are you from? You're from, I hear you're from Illinois.
Yes, I am from Manitou, and I'm currently living in Morton. Manitou is a very small rural farm town, about 1,600 people. I ran the same 2-mile loop and dirt roads. I probably have 10,000 miles around Mason County in general. And then when I took this new position in August, I moved to Morton, Illinois, and I teach about 15 minutes from here. So now I'm running the streets of Morton every morning and every afternoon. So I've got a nice place to train right here. I'm right next to a really big bike trail that connects all through Peoria and all that. And I've got some good trails about 4 miles from my apartment. So I think as far as Central Illinois goes, I live in the best place to train. So
Yeah, I agree that Peoria is a trail town. Like, it's fantastic. They've got like rails to trail sort of stuff. Plus, they also have really cool like single track trails. What's your favorite kind to run on?
I've just never. Well, I'd say about 99% of my running's on concrete. I don't really get out to Farmdale or anything like that very often. I have in the past when I have extra time. It's just, time is everything. And when I'm leaving practice at 4 o'clock or 4:30 and go drive 10 minutes to the trails, it's just not a viable option right now for me. So I just come home and slip on my shoes and either go to the track or run to the track to get some soft surface in, or I just stay on the roads like usual. So
And
that's primarily my go-to. So
yeah, I kind of want to hear about what you weren't an ultra marathoner before this year. So like, what was your background that you came from, and what were you focusing on?
I came from a triathlon background. These past few years, I've been focusing on Ironman 70.3, and this year would hopefully have been my first year professional in Ironman racing. So as far as like the nutrition aspect goes, went for Tunnel Hill. I had a very good insight just from like what I knew in triathlon since I was, in over a 4-hour race for me. So swimming, cycling, and running. There were some weeks when I was doing triathlon that I was swimming like 30 to 35,000 yards a week, which is around like 22 to 23 miles. I was cycling around 250 to 300 miles a week, and I was actually only running about 20 to 30 miles a week. So volume was very big for me then, just as it is now. And I'm a big believer in getting as much volume as you can without seriously injuring yourself. That's what it primarily was. I ran a little bit in college, really worked out for me. I started, I'm talking backwards. I started running in high school very late when I was 17. And I guess it was everyone else's dream except for my own to have this big historic like Division I career where you go and you compete at regionals in 4 years. And that's what everyone pushed for me in Manitou. And I completely understand why they did that, because that's the traditional path to, a professional runner's life or a future elite's life. But that's just, with me starting late, I wasn't running when I was 12 years old, like a lot of the guys who I was competing against. So I just kind of took my own path. I left track cross country running, and I swore I'd never come back to just running because I fell absolutely head over heels for triathlon. But then last November, to wrap up my triathlons, November 2019, I decided to run the Indianapolis Monumental Marathon, and I ran 2:37:29 off of only running 22 miles a week. So I got through the finish line and I took my downtime for the year. Then I decided to change focus to the marathon for 2020 in hopes of getting an OTQ in 3 years for the 2024 trials. And as you guys know, I not there was no marathons that happened. So after I got word that the Illinois marathon was canceled, I decided to just kind of take it easy. I took a week off, and then I started building. Base again, and then in July, when I started my 18-week build for the Indianapolis Monumental Marathon, I got done with my second track workout, and I saw the text about was canceled. About a week went, and I was going back and forth back to do actually originally penny pen, but that got boot, unfortunately. And once that happened, then I signed up for Tunnel Hill. So I know a lot of people aren't happy with 2020, but it's been my favorite year yet. So
Well, yeah, it's been incredible for you. We would have been so honored to have you at Hennepin, and maybe next year will work out. But we're so happy you went to Tunnel Hill and were able to take all this training and put it to use. And I love your whole attitude of it. So did you choose like ultra marathons are smaller than marathons. So is that one reason you decided to do a 100-mile race?
I just decided to do it because I was very upset that I couldn't compete this year. And I just wanted something big to do. And I figured I signed up, you know what, let's go run this pace to where you can get your all done and you can never go back to it again. You can get it done and you don't have to do it when you're 40 years old and you're done with your marathoning. Just go get it this year, be done with it, and move on back to spring marathon, But that everything kind of changed the weeks leading into it. The whole 13-hour plan changed to a 12:45 plan, was changed into like a 12:30 plan, was changed to a 12:15 plan, was changed into a 12:07 plan. But I didn't get the 12:07, but hopefully next year. So.
And how did you come up? And actually, I kind of worded my last question a little wrong. I was thinking that you did something big because 100-mile races are one of the first that'll come back because they're not as large as like a marathon. So it's a big event that can happen because trail races just are smaller. So they're going to be the first events to come back after COVID and before the marathons probably.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with your goal of 12:07 for the race? Was that was based on time trials during your training?
So on Labor Day weekend, on September 5th or 6th, I ran a self-supported double marathon time trial in 5:53. That's a 6:45 pace. And I got done with that, and it was like a hot day. It was like 70 degrees. The sun was beating down. It was warm. And I was thinking, like, I could probably run 12:30 now. And then I was building miles. The weeks leading up into the weeks before my taper, my average ended up being right at 100 miles a week. So I was running 3 weeks of intense mileage and then 1 week of like a down week, like 100 miles or 120 miles. And then 2 weeks before Tunnel Hill, I ended a 209-mile week with a 50-mile run on a Saturday that I completed in 6 hours. Then on Sunday, I came back and ran a marathon in 3 hours. And I got done with that, and I was just slapping my chest. I was just jumping around because I was like, I'm gonna go 12:07 at Tunnel Hill. So that, between that and just all the weeks of building up aerobic mileage, gave me the confidence that I could potentially, break the American record and Zach Bitter's world record there. So.
Yeah, I mean, the training will give you the confidence. I mean, that's very important. And what perfect runs you had going up to it. Let's get to like the race starting line, and what were you thinking when you got there? Like, what was it like? I mean, a year of COVID racing. What did the starting line feel like?
So like the race morning went absolutely perfect for me. I woke up like 10 minutes before my alarm. My crew woke up with me. We got to the race and everything was going smooth. And next thing you know, I'm FaceTiming my mom about 20 minutes before it starts. Just, she's telling me good luck and all this, and she wanted to be there, but because of personal, be the one time she couldn't. But next thing I know, up to the starting line, we got our mask, a little selfie, the four of us. I hand off my long sleeve, and they say, "Well, we'll see you at the 5.5 mile mark." And Steve's lining everyone up. Steve Durbin, the race director, and next thing you know, we take off. And I think I looked down at my watch. I said, "It's 7 o'clock." I said, I'll be able to sit down at 7:07, so 7:07 p.m. So.
And so you were in the first wave?
I was confident. I felt fresh, and I was just ready to get warm. Yeah, I was in the first wave.
Oh, that's good.
Steve actually had to give me a special entry because I was one of the original people who signed up, but thankfully I convinced him that I could run fast. And even though I don't think he really trusted me at first, but I was like, hey, I think I can do this, and he allowed me to get in and all this stuff. And so I'm very thankful Steve trusted me for that kind of like a lottery spot, very last minute. And so, and we just went, and I had to get warm. I was cold. I was shivering there. So.
And so who is your
That's
crew?
How the start went. My crew?
Yeah.
Oh man, my crew's my three best friends. My crew consisted of my very first best friend, Logan. We were best friends since we were 4 years old. Then one of my buddies who I ran with in high school and part of college, Jared. And then my second or third, whichever, my other best friend, Cole Bernhardt. He's always been a big supply running, and all three of them have always came to my races and through the years of track and cross country and triathlon. And let me tell you, this guy delivered on race day. They were phenomenal for me. Could not have done this without their support. They were just amping me up at every race, at every aid station, and doing everything I needed them. And we were like a well-oiled machine, the four of us. We were just men on a mission. They got into it, and I can't thank them enough for taking their time that day. So
that's amazing.
That's awesome.
I'm also curious about your mom. Like, what did you said when you told your mom? What did she say? You're like, I'm going to go run 100 miles. So, or do you not surprise her anymore?
I don't think she. Well, I think this was the final surprise, but she wasn't too happy with me at first. She wasn't too thrilled or excited, which is to be expected because I think she understood the whole someday Ironman thing, the 2.4 mile swim, the 112 mile bike, and the marathon, and running the marathons and all this. But she just really, I mean, my mom will always support me, but I don't think she expected this at all for me wanting to run 100 miles. But the closer and closer it got, she was into it just as my buddies were, and I was. So, but yeah, I kind of shocked her a little bit, I think, but.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they all got confidence too because they got to see how your training was going, and they're like, yeah, he can do this. And I mean, how exciting for them to get to be there. I would love to be, see my best friend from, from kindergarten grow up and go do this. That's so special.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm very thankful that those three guys were there for me. And when I go back next year in races in the future, I think they're gonna plan to be there with me. So
you got your dream team there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, so you're at the start line. You got your dream team course. Your mom's, got you going off. You get off on the first wave. Was there any before we get off on the first wave? Do you have any pre-race things that you always do? Like, do you have to wear certain socks? Do you do something to take care of your feet? Like, what did you do to get ready for that?
So a few years ago, when I used to get inside my own head a lot before races, I either read an article or heard it in a podcast over a pro triathlete. He said, abandon any pre-race rituals you have any day before ritual, any days leading to a race you have. He said, because it will never be the same. It will never be down the way you want it to be. and you just got to be able to relax and go with the flow. So I don't really do anything. I mean, I wake up and I drink coffee and I eat a peanut butter bagel. I listen to music before. Um, as far as anything superstitious, I used to be when I was like 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. I would just be on it. And if it didn't go right, I would have a panic attack. But anymore, I just kind of say, oh, okay, and just shake it off. And I have to control what only I can control now. So
That's really great advice. Like, we all
Mhm.
should do that.
thank
Okay,
you.
so
Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're a little delayed sometimes,
Okay.
so I apologize if I talk over you. So you take off. Like, what was your plan, like pace wise? Were you how were you planning on running?
So my plan was the first 25 miles in 3:05, which is about a 7:20 pace. The second 25 miles in 3:05 bring me through in 6:10, from 50 to 75 in 3 hours, and then run the last 25 in 2:57 for a 12:07. But unfortunately, 1 hour into the run, this has never happened before in my entire life of having one. But my GPS lost complete signal, and it told me I was either running 2 minute mile pace or 9 minute mile pace. So for the next 11 hours, I ran everything off of feel.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Wow.
and and one downfall of me and my training is I'm absolutely married to my watch because it is just everything to me. And for the next 11 hours, I could only see the time. I couldn't see distance. I couldn't see pace. The only time when I knew where I was at was when my crew was like, hey, you're at this mile and you're running this pace and you're this far into the run, because I had no clue. I did, because they tell me, we'll see you in 5 miles, we'll see you in 10 miles, but for the most part, I I just was out there running on field, just seeing the time click on my watch. That was it.
Oh, I can't even
It was,
imagine. Holy
Wow.
cow.
yeah. Between so I think if I would have had my watch actually working correctly, I think I think we'd be talking about a different time right now. But I can't speculate anything. Um, I thought I was running a lot slower between miles 25 down to Tunnel Hill, which is like 25 to like 32 and a half. But it found out I was dropping from 7:20 pace to about a 6:35 pace. My crew actually didn't even expect me to come to the next aid station after 25 miles down there, because I came like 10 minutes, because no, I came 5 minutes early, and I was running 6.5 minute mile pace because I just had no idea. And then I figured out that I was running that quick, and so I slowed way up, and kind of and just you know just run 7:15, 7:20 pace, or am I running 7 minute pace? I it was just something I had to really trust my body on. So
Yeah, and with the adrenaline of race day, that adds extra difficulty into it. What was it like? Was there
yeah, I honestly
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't have much adrenaline. Oh, you're fine. I didn't have much adrenaline going into race day. My buddies and I were talking the night before when we were eating pizza. We're like, this is a pace day. This is not a race. I'm not going out at I'm not going out at 5 minute mile pace. I'm going out at my first few miles were like 7:30, 7:40. Meanwhile, these guys in the top 10 in the first pack are like going off at like 7:10, 7:15. I'm like, and I'm just cruising back here like 7:30 mile pace, still trying to get warm and figuring out, just I didn't have much.
We just missed a little bit. We can't hear. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. We just missed that last little bit of what you said. So
Oh, okay.
I heard that everybody went out faster, and then you cruised back for your muscles to warm up.
Yeah. I just cruised back and wanted to warm up and just stay calm, and knew that the race wasn't going to be won at 10 miles or 20 miles or 50 or 80. And I was confident that I would get warm and just enjoy the day and smile. So that's what I tried to do, is smile.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's perfect. You're an ultra runner. You got the personality. Uh,
Sweet.
and what did you think of ultra runners? So, like, because we tend to think that we might have a different personality. Like, how did you feel down there?
Um, I didn't really. I mean, I talked to a few guys. Everyone seemed very nice, very friendly to me. Yeah, I like I said, I kind of kept to myself at the start, and then once we started running, I talked to a few guys for a few minutes. But then, once I start running my pace, I'm kind of separating myself from everyone else, and then it just becomes a lonely day of me talking to myself in my head with my voices. So, I mean, but but everyone seemed great at the start and the finish, and people were cheering me on. Different racers were, so yeah.
Derek Horn, he is asking, did you have anyone before the race that gave you any ultra running advice?
I reached out to a few very selfless individuals who I knew who had ultra experience, who gave me some, who basically gave me some advice. They are personal friends of mine, and they just told me, be patient, and it's going to be the longest day of your life. Anything can happen in 100 miles. But as far as I I didn't ask for anyone's advice. I mean, I was there. I was there to do a plan that I had ready to go, and I was confident myself. So
And one thing I forgot to ask that Derek kind of reminds me of is, did you write your own training plans or did you work with a coach?
I'm self-coached. I don't think I can work with a coach ever again. So I do. As far as like my training, I pay for Training Peaks Premium, which helps me with my TSS scores, my stress, my like recovery, my form, and my fatigue, and all that. So I can put in future data, and it'll show me how recovered I'll be as far as like planning in the future. So I am my own coach, and I like it. I love it.
Well, you're doing it right. I mean, you're
Mm-hmm.
obviously good at
Thank you.
that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So let's see. How about like before you went to the race? Like, did you do any training runs on the course?
No, I kind of thought about going down there. So 4 weeks before the race, I was supposed to do a 75-mile run, but it was on a day when Illinois had those amazing 25-mile-an-hour winds. And so the 75-mile run was cut down to 60 miles. But I I didn't go down at all. I mean, the Rock Island Trail here in Peoria is pretty close to what the Tunnel Hill Trail is like. So I basically went there every Saturday and just ran long. So I never went down to Vienna before race day.
And how about like nutrition wise? Did you practice that during your training? And then also, what did you use on race day?
Oh yeah. I think practicing nutrition is huge in training to convert to race day. So I used birthday cake goo gels. I use honey stinger waffles. I use Cliff block shots, like the little gummy things. Then I ate about 6 or 7 bananas. I had some Uncrustables. I
What
drank some
Uncrustables?
pickled. Yeah, I I drank some pickle juice, which my crew actually went to the Dollar General right next to the course to buy me pickles to pour the pickle juice in a cup because I said I needed it, and they didn't have it on course. So shout out to those guys for going to Dollar General for that. And then I had like a normal Powerade Zero bottle, something that's like this big, that I put 4 teaspoons of salt and that I sipped on at every aid station, and that is a lot of salt.
Yeah.
It did not taste very great at all, but it's what I practiced with, and I just carried water with me in my bottle. So
So like a handheld water bottle.
yeah, I carried a 22-ounce Nathan bottle. One of the, yeah.
Well, speaking of gear, let's see. I think we'll ask a little bit early. We have it later on. Who was it that asked this? Oh, Patrick Morris. He wants to know about your Nike Alpha Fly shoes that you had on. So he wants to know, like he says that, like, do they really help with speed? For somebody like you, he said he didn't think it would help him, but he's wondering, somebody like you, does it really help?
I think if you're running at least a 9-minute mile pace, a carbon fiber plated shoe will help you. Yeah, it helped me. I wasn't a big fan of the Next Percent because I felt like it was very slim, and I've got a wide foot, and the Alpha Fly is not like a second Next Percent shoe. It's its own shoe, and I think it helped me on my race day. I only ran in it once before the race. That was 5 miles the 2 days before, and I'm glad I picked that shoe for the race. So yeah, if you take yourself seriously and you have big goals in running, rather it be a Boston qualifier, a 5K PR, and you're spending this money on entry fees, clothing, all this stuff, I think everyone should invest in a pair of carbon fiber plated shoes. So they are an advantage.
And how about for, like, is that a race day shoe, and you do something else for training, or is that something you trained in? Okay.
So the only shoe that I train in is the Hoka Bondi 6. I live in Morton, Illinois, where it's just concrete all over, concrete road, and on top of more concrete. And with the Hoka Bondi, it just takes the ease off my knees and my ankles, where there would be swelling. If I were to dip down to the marathon and I'm not running 200 miles a week, I'm running like 140, 150, I would do faster stuff in either like the Hoka Cliff or like the Nike Pegasus 37 or the Saucony Endorphin Pros or something like that. But all my miles leading into Tunnel Hill, none of them were any faster than a minute 45-second minute per mile pace. So I didn't need any shoes that would aid speed like that. So I just went for the absolute most protection for all my training. And then I knew that the Alpha Fly was the fastest shoe it was and is still the fastest shoe on earth that I could jog in the 2 days before and line up on race day and be comfortable with it. So
that's very interesting. Thank you, Patrick, for that great question. That was I loved hearing about that. Let's see. So, okay, so you're getting in, you've made it through 50. You went a little fast for a little bit, but it didn't seem to affect you. Were you still feeling really confident, or were you worried at all?
So when I got through 50, I got through in 5 hours and 49 minutes, and I took probably a 90-second break just to stop and eat an Uncrustable and talk to my team and all that. And I got through, and I didn't even realize it said 5:49 until my buddy told me. Cole was like, dude, you're going to break 12 hours today. And I looked at him and I said, you're freaking right. I'm going to break 12 hours. I didn't say freaking, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to break 12 hours today. And I didn't even know that I ran through that fast, just because I didn't know until I got there. And then I was so focused on getting to my aid that I didn't look up at the clock. So I was just trying to get some salt in me and some food in me at that point. But yeah, through 50 miles in it was 5:49 or 5:50. It was something.
That is incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And you obviously, you ran what you're capable of, because you were still feeling really confident. If you had went too fast, you would have known already.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. But I do agree that having a watch probably would have helped you a little bit. So you take off from there. So, like, what did the next 25 miles feel like?
The next 25 felt easy all day. I think as far as when running goes, if you have a positive mindset from the start to the end of the race, no matter how terrible or how fatigued you feel, as long as you keep telling yourself, I feel great, I look great, everyone's watching me. I trained for this moment. I trained for this fatigue. And when you're starting to hurt, you got to take a gel. You got to just up your stride a little bit. You got to look a little better. Just put your chest out a little more and work through the bad spots, and just keep telling yourself, I have everything in my savings account and I am withdrawing today. today is the payday. Today is when we withdraw all the training, all the weeks, all the years leading up to today, when you are hitting that bad spot. So the next 25 miles did not hurt at all. They actually felt great.
Wow, that's great advice too. Like everybody's going to be learning so much. You're going to have competition now.
Well, I will take all the competition. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I
It'll just help you go even, competition's fantastic.
mhm.
Okay, so yeah, you're feeling great through 75. Steph Dannenberg actually, she had a question because she was real curious. Now you're getting past 75. Like, what does that feel like? Like, were you going? Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. Like, what's going through your head?
So I got my headphones from my friends at 70 miles. I took them 6 miles earlier just because I looked at my watch and I realized I had enough battery to last me for another 3.5 hours. So I'm like, well, shoot, I might as well take these things early. I'm doing this thing as like a time trial effort. So I got them at 70. Then I saw my friends at Vienna Park at 76 point something miles. And I kind of paused for a second, not as long as I did at 50. And I got my headlamp and I'm down in Gatorade and I'm shoving like the fifth or sixth banana down my throat in a matter of seconds. And my buddy looks at me and he says, "You only need a 255." And I think in my head, shit, I got to run 24 miles in 2 hours and 55 minutes. I said, I'm 9 hours and 10 minutes into this thing. And I got to pull off a 255. It was like a surreal moment. Cause I'm like, this is when it starts, this is when everything goes. So, but, I said, okay, well, I can run 255. I just thought right then and there how many times in my life I ran 24 miles in 3 hours and like under 3 hours. I was like, it's just one more time. So I took off and my friend ran next beside me for about a half mile and I got into it and then the rain started, but it rained pretty hard, but it let up and then started getting dark but I was just confident that I was like, you're gonna pull this 255 off, I had to do whatever it takes to get there. So
And
that was my motto.
what music were you listening to? What's your favorite?
So I had 3 playlists ready to go for the final 25 miles. I had a playlist that was titled Tunnel Hill 100, and then I had a playlist for mile 90, but then I also had a third playlist. And for the last 3 hours of my run, I listened to Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons for 3 hours straight. Because I am just a psycho like that. It doesn't bother me at all. So
That's awesome.
thank you.
I've actually done that before. My husband ran with me and I made him I am not going to admit to the song that I made him play over and over again, but I made him keep hitting repeat on one song. He was holding my little like Apple podcast thing or not podcast, like what are they called? My little
An iPod, little iPod.
Yeah, little. It was one of those little iPads, and he just kept hitting repeat. So I'm there with you. That's really cool. You got your music
Thank
that
you.
take you home.
Yeah, for sure. It was great. I wouldn't have changed anything about that. So
Yeah. Okay, so now you're like coming in, like I mean, and you've got to watch, so you know that you're good. Were you disappointed when you realized you weren't going to quite get to the goal that you had set?
So I kind of want to rewind to mile 90.
Okay.
Mile is like 90.3 is when everything got real. I'm coming through and I eat my last banana. I take my last sip of Gatorade. I'm getting ready to go into the absolute dark for 70, 75 minutes. And I look at my friends and I say, how fast do I have to go? And they say, Taggart, you got to cook. They said this is your negative slip moment. This is when you need to go. He said they were all just on me about this is do or die right now. And I said, okay, well, let's do this. And I put on my tank top and really turned on my light and I took a gel and I went. And about mile 95, I started hallucinating a little bit. I started like seeing weird things, and I thought I saw a guy on a bridge who wasn't there, but I was just like, I don't care. I don't care right now. And I found out around miles about 97.2. It was about 2.8 miles, or is either 2.8 or 3.2 miles to go. Um, I got to the aid station, and there was a guy there who was a nice individual who had been tracking me all day. And I looked at him and I said, "Am I going to do this?" And he said, "Kid," he said, "you have ran phenomenal today." He said, "You're barely going to miss this." He said, "I would jog this in and enjoy the last 3 miles of your run." And he was completely honest, and I kind of knew deep down inside I wasn't going to get it. So I just did, I ran. I didn't run very hard. I just wanted to just get through it, and they'll celebrate with my friends at the end. So I found out, like I said, about 3 miles out, and then Cole ran me in with about a half mile to go. So, but I'm fine with it. I'm very content. So.
Yeah, you got to be extremely proud of yourself. Like most people don't go to their first 100-mile race and not make. I mean, to me, it doesn't sound like you made any mistakes.
No, I don't. I mean, I I think I made a few. I think I made a few like nutrition mistakes. The guys were really on me about, next time we need to have that we need to have things figured out better as far as that goes. I think I need to be taking in more nutrition and doing things a little differently. But other than that, I don't have any regrets for my run. I mean, I got through, and I I couldn't walk for almost 48 hours afterwards. So I basically left everything on the course that night in Vienna.
Yeah, exactly. So, who was at the finish line for you? What did bring us to the finish line? What that was like when you crossed?
So all day, Logan was putting everything up on Facebook Live for me and posting on my Instagram and all this. And I actually came through 50 miles, and it was either Cole or Jared said, he said, Taggart said, "You've got 1,000 people watching your race right now." And I looked at him and I said, "There is no way 1,000 people are tracking me." And so I come to the finish line, where I'm greeted by, like I said, my three best friends, the race director, Steve, and he's on Facebook Live, where there are a lot of people watching me, just waiting for me to finish. And then after I finish and celebrate with my friends, well, about 30 seconds after I finish, I get my mom basically put on FaceTime. It's just like boom right there, she wanted to see me right away. And about 30 seconds after I finished the race, too, at the same time, my other friend Jared is taking off my shoes and putting on my Hoka like recovery slides, and they're putting a jacket on me, put my sweats on me, and all this. My friends were just amazing this day. It was just very nice to celebrate there at the end with them, and it was something that I will never forget. And um, it was an unbelievable just feat to like think that I ran 100 miles, let alone like the second fastest in the U.S. So it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad you got to talk to your mom.
I know, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
What did she say? Like, oh, she had to have been so proud of you.
She was in tears, and then I kind of started tearing up a little bit, and then all three of my friends were pretty emotional, just because they were in this roller coaster with me all day, and I came up short. I mean, I can't blame myself. I came up 12 minutes short, but it was a very sweet moment just to be there at the finish line and just be able to finally sit down too. I sat down on this bench, and I couldn't get up without the three of them pulling me up, but it just felt good to sit down and be done.
Yeah,
So
was that like I was wondering like what did you want most when you finished? Was it the bench?
yeah, I couldn't eat at all. We got back to the hotel, and I had some Twizzlers, some pretzels, and I had to like shove a protein bar down my throat because I could not. Nothing sounded appealing at all to me. I just wasn't hungry. They weren't hungry, and I just needed to lay down, and it was awful. It was just, I've never felt that low in my life, but I want to do it again. So
Funny how that works out, huh?
yeah.
So we've got a lot of people on here that are wanting to know what your plans are next. What are you doing next?
So the only race I have planned for 2021 is Tunnel Hill right now. The months leading into that, as far as spring, summer, and fall races, I don't have any idea. My goal for Tunnel Hill next year is to go under 12 hours. I want to go under 12, as far under 12 as I can. What that number is, I don't know. But if it's 11:59:59, I'm 100% okay with that. I want everyone to come race me at Tunnel Hill. I want every single ultra fast guy to watch this and be like, I want to beat this cocky 24-year-old, and I want them to come. Yeah, I want some competition. I want the competition guys to be there to push me. And even if I don't win next year and I go under 12 or like I run 12:05, I want those guys, because I want to race the best of the best in the world. Yeah, as far as spring and summer, I don't have any idea. With teaching, I have my summers off, so I've kind of entertained the idea of Western States, but at the same time, training for Western States would be extremely difficult living in Central Illinois, because there's absolutely no elevation gain. And for a race like that, I would need 6 months of hard trail grinding. So I'm not 100% sure on the spring and the summer yet. But next fall I'll be at Tunnel Hill again. So
that's great.
Thank you.
And with a new watch, or
hopefully a new watch. Yeah.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of watch companies contacting you.
Yeah. If anyone wants to send me a new watch that can store music and keep a GPS for 12 hours and some battery, I'd appreciate that. So.
Was there anything else about the race that we didn't ask that you wanted to share? We got the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5 questions coming up next, but we want to make sure you get everything out about your day.
I'm just unbelievably grateful that my body held up through 16 weeks of absolutely pushing my limits to something that I didn't think was honestly humanly possible, but I was able to run that mileage. And the fact that I was able to run 12:19 at Tunnel Hill was just extremely special for me. And I'm just thankful that, all my friends who, I say, oh, I can't go out tonight on a Friday night because I've got a big run in the morning. I can't do this. I can't come to this family thing. I'm grateful all those people who have over the years, kind of just dealt with my training, were able to finally witness my best day, and that they were able to experience that with me, my close friends and family and all that. And it was just like years of grinding just finally paying off for me. And I'm glad that I was able to do that, and hopefully I'll be able to do it again. So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the race.
Yeah, we're very grateful that you did it. It's amazing for us to see what the human body is possible of. I love that you're younger. That's very exciting to see somebody young. And I'm not that we're not all young in the sport. I'm not, but Crystal might be.
No, I don't think I'm young. No.
But it's really cool to see. I'm glad that you chose to do that, and thank you. I mean, it was. Thank you for being on.
I'm glad to be there.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, and I was glad to be there last Saturday. So.
Well, we look forward to watching, everything that you have coming up. We'd love to have you at Hennepin. I wish Hennepin could have happened so that we could have witnessed that. It might work out for like a 50-mile before the race. I don't know what your schedule is, but we're a little ways out. You might be able to do the 50 there. And
how many weeks out is
so it'll be October 2nd and 3rd. So I'm guessing like 6 weeks out or something like that.
I could probably almost manage that. I could probably try to go for 5-hour 50 that day or something like that. Somewhere around there. So
break a couple records in 1 year.
Right. Why not?
Yeah, that would be super exciting for us.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely look you guys up, and once I start planning for 2021, I will consider that. So I didn't even think about that. You guys have a 50 miler there, so that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great if you're going, it does work out really well. It's far enough away from Tunnel Hill. But,
Mhm.
but it's your training, so I don't know what works for your training, but take a look and just see if it will work out. We do have a 50K too if that works better for your
Okay,
training. And that
cool.
one's at night.
Oh, oh, at night. What time does that start?
It starts at 5 p.m.
Is there any way you can run the 50 miler and then do the 50K?
We have had somebody do that. And she won, like, how did it, she has our course record on a lot of stuff, so I can't remember. Like, I think she won one of them and was like second in the other, but she had to like
Oh, good for
book.
her.
So
Yeah.
the 50-mile finish line is a little ways away from the 50K start line, so she had to go, and then like her husband picked her up, and then she drove to the 50K start, then she took off, and she did great in both of them.
Good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be super fun for you. Yeah, we'd love to see you do that.
Cool.
So, well, Crystal does the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5 here, so this is always a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of the questions have already been answered, so
So
it
you
might
can
be
make
the
up new ones.
it might be like the Unreal Stubborn 3. So, but that's okay. All right, share one thing about you that people may not know.
That people may not know. Oh, um, here, this is very shameless. I love playing Pokemon. I love it. It's one of my favorite just mind-numbing activities to do. So
I
Nice.
like it.
I enjoy that. So I
So
like doing it.
would you consider that a hobby as well? Because that eliminates two questions right there.
No, it's not really a hobby. It's something
Okay.
I don't know. No, it's not really a hobby.
All right. All right. So what is your favorite hobby?
Mm, my favorite, it's probably running. I
Yeah.
I consider that my hobby. So my hobby, my passion, just running and eating a lot of food, and yeah, those two things, running and eating, are my hobbies. So my grocery
Nice.
bill is not very small. So
I can't imagine how many calories you got to eat to fuel your body for that much running.
yeah, it's a lot. I'm burning like on a normal day, I'm burning like 6,500 calories. So it's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you careful about what you eat? Do you eat like very healthy food, or you just eat whatever?
So 90% of my food is extremely nutritious, as far as like fruits, vegetables, grains, oats, chicken, all that good stuff. 90% of it is extremely strict diet, and then 10% is everything after supper and some alcohol on the weekends. So that is the 90-10 plan I have, and
That's
and I live by it and I stick by it. So
that's cool.
That was going to be one of my questions, but thank you,
Oh,
Michelle.
sorry.
It's okay. No, when he said groceries, I was like, ooh, I could ask him like what he buys. But that's okay. Um do you have anyone that you look up to or like an influence in your life?
I've got one person that I really look up to. Um, when I was a kid, I had a very good life. Um, my mom would wake up at 3, 4 a.m., go work a job. She would come home from her job, make me supper, make sure my clothes were clean, make sure the house is clean, and then she'd go work another job to make sure that the family lived a good life. And if I could contribute any of this, any of the success to anyone in the world, it'd be my mom. I get my hard work grind from her. I mean, she still wakes up every day, every 34 o'clock in the morning, goes to work. I wake up at 4 o'clock to run. I mean, she's my inspiration. She's my best supporter, and I love her so much. And she's yeah, she, that's her. So
Oh my
it'd be
gosh.
her.
That was so sweet. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's all right.
That's so sweet.
That is.
She sounds pretty amazing too.
She is amazing, and she still supports. She's supported me all these years, as far as buying the running shoes for me when I was in high school and college, and she still helps me today, with stuff when I moved out, and just she knows that um, she's chasing this dream of world championships, national championships with me, and that where she's right there next to me. So
Well, I see that your mom's name is Val because people are
mhm.
commenting on here, and she said that she's told you not to die before the race, and
Mhm.
and people are asking if she's crying about now. But that was so sweet. Crystal and I are both moms. Like that's our first responsibility, and I mean, and I have my son is and my daughter is everything to me. So it's really nice to hear you say that.
It is
Absolutely.
it's the least I could do for her. So
Well, go mom.
Go mom. Go Val. Yeah. Um. Okay, so out of all the groceries that you buy, okay, so what's like a favorite treat for you? Like, what's a junk food that you really like?
so if I'm cheating on Saturday nights, it's probably a large pizza with everything on it, followed up with like the absolute biggest chocolate cookie dough sundae that you can eat, and then just whatever else sounds good. So just pizza and ice cream. I love it.
That
So
sounds
I don't.
perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Saturdays to eat pizza. I ate pizza on Monday.
There you go.
It was for our school fundraiser. I was allowed to.
Hey, that's fine. That's okay.
That's right. We're raising money here.
Yeah.
Do you have a pizza place in your town that you eat at?
So the last couple of times when I've cheated, I've gone to this pizza ranch here in Morton. And each of the two times I've had like 20 plates of pizza and like dessert pizza. It's just kind of cheaper for me to go there than it is to like buy like a large or two large pizzas. So that's, I don't know.
Does
I
the staff
I
like start watching and going, "Look at this guy"?
yeah. I hope not. I don't think so, but yeah.
Well,
I know about Pizza Ranch. I've been there. I've been to a Pizza Ranch in Springfield before. I know all about those.
Yeah, they're good.
It's heaven. It's heaven.
Yeah.
well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Was there any more questions? I lost track. Was that the 5?
No, it was like 3, but that's okay because a lot of the you had one here from Patrick about the Nike Alpha Fly, and that was already answered. And we were talking about stuff he was looking for, stuff that Taggart was looking forward to, and with 2021 and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a question. Elizabeth Laura wanted to know if you have any recovery tips.
I'll be completely honest. I don't do a single thing for recovery other than make sure my feet are up on the couch as much as possible. I wear very supportive running shoes at work because I'm on my feet all day teaching PE. Um, I don't really roll out. I don't really use compression. I don't have a gun. It's just I don't have time. I wish I did, but like when I get done with practice, I come home and I run, I shower and I eat. I don't feel like rolling out. I just wanna collapse, honestly. So yeah. I'm
All
sorry
right.
that I can't answer that for her, but
Well,
Those are good recovery tips. Don't do
mhm,
anything. Prop your feet up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
and you sleep? Do you get enough sleep? Do you sleep like quite a few hours a night, or?
I sleep about Monday through Friday, about 7 hours at night, 7 to 7.5 hours. I go to bed normally around like 9, then I wake up at 4 to run from 5 to 7 during the week. So I shoot. I would love to get 8, but I just it's tough to go to bed right at 8 o'clock. So
So that's probably good. 7 hours is better than some people do. With all you're doing,
it is
that's
better.
good.
Hmm. And one thing that I think about sleep is, so even though I don't get the 8 hours, I feel like I get more very hard REM sleep than most people. So I feel like my 7 hours is a very good 7 hours of sleep. So I still wake up and drink coffee like it's going out of style, but it gets me through the day. So
Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much. Like, that was extremely interesting. We really appreciated getting to hear your story and hearing about your mom, especially. And she is crying, by the way, she said. She says thank you. And I want to thank my son,
right,
Royal, here, because I'm very fortunate that I get to work with my son, and he does all this technical stuff for us. And also thank Coach Loretta she organized all this, she booked all this. And so your mom said, he said we get to have mashed potatoes now. So
with being
Mashed potatoes.
with being out of season, because normally in season it's just chicken and vegetables for supper 6 days a week. So
okay. Okay, well, Val, we're like your major part of your fan club here now.
We are fans.
So you got anything, Crystal?
Yes, I just wanted to thank our listeners, and we love you. We appreciate our listeners so much, and everyone that's watching on YouTube Live. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to come check us out on our Facebook page, it's the Dirt Trail Running Podcast, and we also have a Patreon, so come check it out, and leave us iTunes reviews, 5-star reviews. Tell me how awesome I am, and then thank you to Taggart. We have like the best guests in the world, so we truly appreciate everyone that comes on and we get to talk to. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a great talk we had. So.
Well, good. I'm glad that you felt like you got to tell the whole story. I think we all learned a lot. I feel very lucky that you shared that much with us.
No, it's no problem at all. I'm coming out with a race report here, and hopefully sooner rather than later. It's just I'm trying to get every single little detail on it. So thank you guys for having me again. So
when that comes out, make sure you let us know. We'll share it on all of our social media pages.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
I love reading race reports. I never write a race report, but I always like reading other people's race reports.
They're kind of a headache to write, just because you got so many thoughts and then just going through and just making sure that you don't do like one punctual error, because everyone out there is an English teacher who will just ream you for that. So
and then you're kind of tired, I'm guessing, like a little bit, and
yeah.
Well, we look forward to it.
Grammatical.
Don't feel pressure to get it done too fast. Just get it done at your pace, which
Sounds
is fast.
Right.
Okay. Well,
awesome.
Thank you everyone for
listening.
You. And Val, we love you.
Bye, Val.
I can't wait to meet her in person.
I know.
I hope that she can come to Hennepin.
She probably will if I'm there. So.
Well, good. Thank you.
All right.
Are we going off?